this is crazy. So this dude was going around and he was spraying bug shit on, well, it'll show it. It'll show it. He shows it right here. This dude is going to jail for a bit for being a clown.
Things have gotten so much worse for the TikToker who poisoned food at Walmart for a prank, as he's now pleaded guilty to 2 felony counts of adding poison and harmful
2 felonies?
Substances to food, 1 misdemeanor count of endangerment, and 1 misdemeanor count of criminal damage.
Oh, you love to see it.
Dude essentially wanted...
So you have to understand the way that poisons work. And the way that a lot of bug poisons work is that they are effectively a viscous liquid that shuts down the insect or the bug's ability to breathe, because the way that they breathe and the way that they get energy is through moving their body. And so a lot of these poisons are not even poisonous. They won't even actually kill somebody. They're not going to do any bodily harm. And so it's a neurotoxin. Yeah, exactly. And so there are certain poisons you can use that can kill people, other ones you can that won't. The bug poisons don't kill people. There are other ones that do, but those raid bottles, and that one specifically is not an example of that. So it wouldn't have even worked to begin with. Anyway, so not only is he retarded, but he's retarded. Like, that's bad.
Attention so bad on the internet that he destroyed his life for it. And unfortunately, there's now many cases of this. So he's not even unique. He's just another moron headed to prison.
Yep.
It's been at least 4 months since we've had our last update on this guy, and next month it'll be 1 year since I first started covering this dude. So there's a lot that's unfolded. So I mean, if you're lucky enough to not know who I'm talking about today, I'm sorry for taking out of your bliss, because sometimes ignorance truly is bliss. But this is Charles Smith, also known as the social media creator Wolfie Coletti, a Arizonan TikToker who went viral last year for basically being a public nuisance and just an all-around absolute
just being annoying. Like that, it's so funny to me when these guys whose entire career is built around just being annoying and obnoxious, like they do something like this and they go over the line, and now their life is totally fucking ruined.
Back. Wolfie decided that being a functioning member of society just wasn't for him, so he became a self-proclaimed real-life villain.
What in my 600-pound life is this? He got bacon hidden in his shoes? Ugh!
A self-proclaimed real-life villain and started recording TikTok content at the expense of random innocent people, ruining their days for views. Because as I've said in my previous videos, his content was essentially barely monetizable all the way up until the last few months before he was arrested. I think right before he was arrested, he was making a couple $1,000s a month doing this stuff.
Not so bad. Oh, he's gonna put the bacon in there, right? Yeah, if I was 11, I would have watched this. Yeah, this is actually like, this is literal content for preteens. Yeah, this is for like, yeah, it's funny. No, it is like, I mean, because I remember what I was like whenever I was a little kid. Little basic. No, I get it. Like, I get it, but like, you can't do that. This dude's 25. Yeah, no, exactly. I get it. Wait, what? Eggs? Eggs? I love how he thinks that there aren't any, I would say there's not any cameras, but he literally uploaded this himself on the camera. How do you think that you're going to get away with this? I mean, you got to be retarded to do this.
I mean, there's nothing like destroying what could possibly be this man's only set of clothes for some attention online. And the whole ongoing theme of this guy is he always picks on the least economically fortunate, as his normal targets are either fast food workers, retail workers, laundromat customers, or dollar store customers.
Because that's probably where he lives. He just goes to the local Dollar General and pisses on the floor, and then he's like, guys, what happened? Like, what is this? He just a retard, yeah.
This could be because he's just trying to pick out people who won't sue him. But you reap what you sow, and eventually, if you're a scumbag, it'll catch up to you. As sadly, what you just saw is far from his worst video. One of the videos that made him somewhat infamous is him dumping a bag of ice into a fryer while they were in business.
How do these people think that they're on a private server, man? This is crazy. This is perfect for teens? No, this content is great for, like, little kids. Like, little kids love shit like this. At least some of them do.
Tacos at the egg roll? Hey! Hey!
Just some poor fucking 55-year-old man working at Jack in the Box has to deal with this shit because this clown, wait, yes, he's just like, he's confused. He's like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is going on, bro? Like, what is this? Yes, I know. What the hell's wrong with people? I know. This is average wage expectation. Yeah, it's bad, man.
In case you didn't know,
how do you do this and think that nothing's gonna go wrong? Like, really? Like, how do you do this and then assume that, like, this is insane? The face he makes, yeah. Fucking like some blue steel Derek Zoolander shit. Oh, he walks out of the Jack in the Box and the alarm's going off. After I just inconvenienced a 53-year-old Jack in the Box worker. They're gonna, this is gonna take them 20 minutes to fix my problem. Ha ha ha.
This is what happens when you put way less ice into a frying machine. And of course, this happened at a Popeyes as well.
Yeah.
Or people who work at Popeyes, man.
What happens? I don't even know. Oh, yeah.
I mean, hey, that was pretty much best case scenario right there.
Yeah.
That was with way less ice. So it's safe to say,
I didn't even know that could
you
happen.
don't need to be a rocket scientist to realize how bad this could have gone. There is no way they didn't have to shut down the kitchen after Wolfie did that. Because I did go on and find another video where they
Never mind, that's more than 20 minutes.
Roughly the same amount of ice as Wolfie put into the fryer, and here...
Okay. Oh, man. Yeah, they probably had to shut that shit down. Oh, my God.
That happened. And I mean,
I didn't
this
even
is
know that could
honestly
happen.
best case scenario.
Damn, that's insane.
Worst case scenario, you burn the whole building down. Then you have videos like this.
This is him again.
Fried pigeon?
Is it just literally a dead bird?
Wolfie.
Bro, this guy. How do you do this? You're laughing. I am. This is so ridiculous. It's not that it's funny. It's just like, how do you do this and think that you're going to get away with it? Like, it's insane. The guy's got 2 points. Yes. Oh, my God.
Remember that.
Yeah. If you were going to make a list of his worst moments.
Remember his name. Bro, that's my favorite part. Remember my name. I'm the retard that threw the dead pigeon into the kitchen. This guy thinks he's fucking Heisenberg. Witness me. It's a bird.
It would be impossible
What
to
a
not include the
retard.
lineup of videos of himself committing attempted battery with a cake,
Oh my god.
actual battery with a cake, false imprisonment and disrupting a business practice, and of course, poisoning food at a grocery store.
This is, see, what I think is really funny is that this is the one that really cooked them. This is the one that they finally, like, because I bet the police probably knew this guy, and they said, okay, now we know what to do. Yep, now we can get him. Yep, you can't get this one. You fucked around eventually. And the other ones are like, yeah, maybe it's inconvenient, but it's not a big crime. But that's it. Oh.
It's wild that this guy makes Johnny Somali even seem like a decent citizen in comparison. But obviously,
That's actually crazy whenever you say that, because you're right. Like, at least Johnny Somali was just annoying and retarded. This dude's actually trying to hurt people. Yeah, that's crazy.
the food poisoning incident that finally got the authorities to take some real action against him. That was the video that immediately got him arrested by Mesa police in December of last year, as he turned himself in and admitted to the crime without any hesitation. Because, well, you know, when you record and post your crimes online, you are the star witness against yourself. When you film yourself committing a felony, upload it for the whole world to see, and brag about it, there's no question about whether you did it or not. You're just making the prosecutor's job extremely easy, and your defense nearly impossible. So the Maricopa County Attorney's Office later indicted him on multiple charges, including introducing poison, criminal damage, endangerment, and theft. And after he was arrested, it was only a matter of time until they started digging into his past videos to throw extra charges on him. Because along with
this guy, bro, this guy TikToked his life sentence. He TikToked his whole life sentence. That's bad, man. That sucks.
the 4 other charges, a third-degree burglar charge was also added related to an incident at a Bosa donut shop.
Ever named date of birth? Charles Smith.
In an MCSO orange jumpsuit, Charles Smith, who goes by Wolfie Coletti on social media, was in court for the second time in just a few days. Already arrested in Mesa over the weekend, where police say he took this can of bug and flea killer
you need to use a different one. He's just stupid.
off the shelf at a Walmart and sprayed the pesticide on produce that was on sale for anyone to buy, all while filming the action himself. The 27-year-old told officers
27 years old? Like, I would understand if you're crashing out like this whenever you're like 19. 27. This dude's gonna be 30 years old soon. He almost into unk status, and he's sitting around doing this, acting like a 5-year-old. You know those people that have graduated college that like they've been at a job for years.
he's a self-proclaimed troll and that he makes up to $10,000 a month posting those videos on social media. The court paperwork for the latest arrest is sealed, but as part of his release conditions, the judge told Smith he is not allowed to be on any social media. And he's not allowed to set foot inside any Bosa donut shop.
I mean, by the
You do not go into that donut shop. You do not even think about going into that donut shop. That's it. Yeah. Bro, imagine getting banned from a donut shop from the police. Like, I mean, you gotta be a straight up clown for that shit.
By the way, this guy is 28 years old. Dude has he's fully developed prefrontal cortex, yet for some reason is spraying Raid, which is a cockroach exterminator on food.
Yeah.
Is risking killing someone worth social media attention? Apparently.
Obviously, the answer is yes.
He thought so. But last year, he had to spend Christmas in jail, and his case has been moving through the legal system since then. His initial pretrial conference was originally scheduled for April 30th, 2025, but a minute entry in the case activity pushed it earlier to April 3rd, 2025. And this is where things actually kind of get interesting, because a plea agreement was filed for 3 of his cases in Maricopa County on April 22nd, and Wolfie was initially set to adult probation, but 2 days later, there was a change in his plea. And now he's officially pleaded guilty to the video where he sprayed Raid on the produce. The articles are reporting that he pleaded guilty to 2 felony accounts of adding poison or other harmful substances to food, 1 misdemeanor count of endangerment, and 1 misdemeanor count of criminal damage.
The man accused of filming.
Somebody says bro's definitely on a burner account trying to push his content to more preteens, so this will be worth it. The sad thing is he might be able to pull it off and make it big because that's the crap world we live in. No, you're not gonna be able to spray poison on shit and get away with it. Like no, they're gonna get him. Like the thing is, like, people act like that's he done. Like, and it's also, there's been so many other things too. Like, he already was in prison also. So it's not like this guy just, he just had a crash out one day and cause problems. No, this is a continual crash outer. Yeah, he been doing this a lot. He has a crazy history, yeah.
Himself spraying bug killer on Walmart produce has pled guilty to several charges. In December, Charles Smith recorded himself spraying the bug killer at a Mesa Walmart. He allegedly told investigators that he makes money.
And look, by the way, it got 78 comments. This dude is catching a felony for probably 200 likes. Imagine going to prison for 200 likes. That's bad.
Videos of pranks. He'll be back in court on June 24th.
One important thing to notice after spraying bug exterminator on various food items is that Wolfie actually left the store for about 10 minutes. Then, finally, he returned and attempted to remove all the items he had sprayed. So he then placed all these contaminated items, or at least the items he thought were contaminated, into a shopping cart and moved it to the back of the store. But the damage was already done. It's not like removing specific items magically decontaminates the entire environment. The shelves, baskets, surrounding areas, surrounding produce. This was a disaster waiting to happen, and he's extremely
Real talk, if you saw him in chat, would you saw someone spray Raid on produce, would you punch them? Would I punch them? Absolutely not. I just recorded it happening, and I would just like say to an employee, I'd be like, hey, this guy's spraying poison on the food. Check the tapes, call the police. Yeah. Yeah, I beat his ass? Well, yeah, but, like, what if he had a knife or a gun or, like, I mean, he sues you because then he gets hurt in the fight. Like, I mean, you don't want to do that, realistically. For what? Yeah, exactly. Like, why even do that? You can get in trouble, too? Yeah, exactly. You dumb, Chatter? Yeah, you dumb. Like, yeah, ray him in the face. Well, what would that do, right? Like, cause it's like, cause like, if you want to do that and hit somebody, like, why would you want to hit somebody? Like, I mean, you could do way worse than hitting somebody if you want to be smart about it. So, like, the worst thing to do is to just fucking, like, guerrilla out at a Walmart, right? Like, you could come up with a million worse things to do to somebody besides that. Like, then you're gonna get yourself in trouble. Yeah, no emotional regulation. Yeah, exactly. Like, you can find out where a person lives easy. Like, you can do all kinds of shit. Like, so why even try to, like, why try to go get in a fight at a Walmart? It's stupid.
And honestly, all of us are extremely lucky that no one else was harmed from this.
Yeah. I threw them away. Yeah, I bet you did. Yep. I love how he threw them away as if, like, okay, well, now as if, like, they had, yeah, like, this is, like, probably $400, $200 of produce there. Yeah, so I just threw them away afterwards, so it's fine.
But also, according to the court documents, it was unknown if he managed to collect all the contaminated items, and Walmart had to remove the remaining produce valued at $931.
Wow.
Here in AZ Central, it says the time between the defendant sprayed the items to when he placed them into the cart left plenty of time for customers to take the contaminated items and purchase them. So for 10 minutes, people could buy produce that he had sprayed with bug exterminator. Again, all for the attention on social media. I mean,
200 likes. Catching a felony for 200 likes. I bet the only reason he went back to remove the contaminated food is because someone in chat reminded him of legal repercussions. I mean, like, that's what I'm guessing too. But even that, I wouldn't even entirely believe.
This dude has been walking around like he's been invincible for so long now, and finally, it caught up with him because he fell into that trap of doing more and more insane stuff for content and views because he kept getting away with the last insane stunt. So without a doubt, there's a space for him in the Hall of Fame of internet morons because this guy has successfully played himself and ruined his own life for a little bit of attention online. So now, Wolfie is scheduled to be sentenced on June 24th next month, and that's when we'll find out exactly how much time he'll be spending behind the bars. So if this video gets 50,000 likes,
I'm hoping for, geez, what would be a good number? I think 15 years. I think 15 years is pretty good. I think 15 to 20 years. That sounds decent. Yeah. Put him in there for a bit. Yeah, exactly, right? Because you got to set an example out of this. It's only going to be like 5 years? Yeah, maybe, right? But like, it's got to be at least a number of years to make an example out of him. Yeah, 15 years for spraying bug spray. Yep. You see, like, to me, like, you have to keep in mind that the way that laws are made, one of the reasons why you have certain punishments is as a deterrent. And so, like, for example, if a police officer could, if you got pulled over for a DUI and you failed your breathalyzer test and the police officer just shoots you right in the head, immediate execution, you're dead. Do you want to know what would happen with drunk driving? It would go way down. It would go way down. Everybody would stop drunk driving because they'd be fucking terrified of getting shot in the head and being killed instantly. And so, whenever you think about how to make a behavior stop, you have to figure out why the behavior is happening, assign a value to that, and then create a repercussion that has a higher value than that. And it is so high that it will make other people afraid of doing it. That's how you change human behavior. So should farmers be convicted for spraying pesticides that are way worse? Is there a reason why commercial products are not for general public? Well, no. Farmers are convicted for spraying pesticides that are worse? Well, no, because those pesticides are made, like, what? That's like saying, should somebody driving a stolen car get arrested because somebody is driving a car that's not stolen? What are you thinking?
Show up to the courthouse and cover the sentencing. Yeah. And feel free to subscribe if you want me to go to the courthouse. And other than that, YouTube thinks you'll enjoy this video. So I would also recommend clicking it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
So
I've grown quite worried.
Give me a second. I will probably watch this tomorrow. I don't know if I get around to it today. But like, this is what's really been going on. Social media should be paid out to the victims. In my opinion, like, this is it. RFK beat him up as a punishment. No. It's not about that. Disagree with Zach. Immediate execution won't change the volume of fear. People would more likely get angry about the escalation of negligence. I think to some degree, if medicine is too extreme, it'll have the opposite effect. I don't think so at all.
Things have gotten...
I don't think so at all. I think that, so here's a... Let me think of a number of good examples of this. It's not true. Yeah, it's just not true. Let me think of a good example of why people are afraid of doing things. So, I mean, Dubai is a great example. Look at El Salvador. So they just arrested all the people that were committing crime, and then the crime stopped happening. That was pretty much about it. And so, like, you have plenty of examples. Singapore, right? In Singapore, you can go to jail for littering. There's nobody who's littering over there. It's very rare. It's probably a very clean country. So they're everyone with tats. Yeah, and guess what? The problem pretty much went away. And so the idea that the punishment is not like, every criminal makes a calculated decision most criminals do not plan on getting caught, but they do plan on, if they get caught, having some form of way of getting out of it. So if something is a really, really bad punishment, they will avoid doing certain things because they're afraid of that, because they're worried about getting in trouble. It's risk management. There is a reason why all of these guys go and do this in places like Japan and the United States and places in Europe, and they're not doing it in China, Russia, or Singapore, or Dubai, or North Korea. There's a reason why they're not doing it there, and it's because they have risk management. They understand exactly what the risks are, and they make decisions based off of those risks. Is the purpose of law is vengeance, though? Is the purpose of law vengeance? Answer is sometimes yes. And it's also about, it's vindication as well. It's very important that people that do things that are bad and that are antisocial, and especially things that hurt other people, they get metaphorically crucified. It's extremely important that that happens, because if it doesn't happen, then you have society degrade into a culture of people that are constantly dangerous, hostile, aggressive, and problematic. And so it's about sending a message. Yes, it's very important about sending a message. And so I don't view prison entirely about rehabilitation. Rehabilitation is a nice secondary effect. Like it would be good if you could rehabilitate a person. But it's more important than rehabilitating a person is protecting the people that don't need to be rehabilitated. So the goal that I have with a lot of these laws, I've said this before, is that the focus should be protecting the people and creating a culture in society where people can feel like they're safe. And I think that criminals feeling like they're not safe is a good thing. And them being afraid, like, oh, well, you just get put in prison and that's all that happens, and like they don't care about you, etc. Yeah, of course, that's the point. That's the point. The cruelty is the point. And if you want to avoid the cruelty, don't do the action. Nobody made him do that. He did this himself. He chose to do this. He's a grown man. He's making this decision himself. And so the way that you handle these people is you have to a certain degree, brutalize them. And if you do that, you stop the behavior. And the goal is to stop the behavior. And it can't be too extreme, bro. Oh, I'm not being extreme. This isn't extreme. This is normal. Yeah, no, that's it. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Yeah, exactly. And the active ingredients, parathoids, also use pesticides. Yeah, sure. The active ingredients in related to parathoids, which they also use for pesticides on crops and lots of other stuff. Exactly what I won't acknowledge this. Why are you trying to argue that it's the same as spraying pesticides and killing people? Like, spraying poison, like, this is done obviously with malicious intent to make people sick. It's the same thing, like, it's the same as putting the thing in the frying pan. The ice in the fryer. It's very obvious that this person is doing it with malicious intent. You're trying to obfuscate by making some kind of like weird abstract comparison with pesticides and farmers, but this is a totally different conversation, and that's not even what's being discussed right now. It's a totally different issue. And so actually, what an idiot. Yeah, I'm actually just going to scroll up and just ban that person, because it's just such a, what a weird thing to say. And, it looks like, I don't know where it is, but I'm sure he'll comment again and say something stupid. Just go back and ban him. And there's no reason to even engage that type of thinking. But anyway, so that's the way that you handle people. And some will say poor people and the minorities get the brunt of the justice system. How do you make it so a justice system is racially and class blind? Well, I don't care if it's happening to a black person or a white person. The majority of people in prison are men. We don't talk about how we need to arrest more women, do we? No, of course not. It's retarded. The problem is the action. The person committing the action doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it's a woman, a man, a black person, a white person, an Asian. It doesn't make any difference. I don't care if they're poor or rich. Why would I care about that? The action is bad objectively. And so it should be treated that way. Yeah, women get less time. They should. Oh, sorry. They do, and they shouldn't. What the fuck is wrong with people? Why do you have to explain this? The reason why so here's the reason why I have to explain it to people. The reason why is because a lot of these people live in a media apparatus that views any sort of application of the justice system through the lens of racial parity, which should not be that's not the goal. The application of the justice system is to remove crime. That's its goal. And so like that's the reason why. It's because they're thinking about it from a completely different foundation. And it's a wrong foundation. Every race breaks the law. Yeah, exactly. It's the same as like basically if 100% of all crimes were committed by women, we wouldn't call them being in jail sexist. No, definitely. And do you agree that bail and fines target the lower class? Yeah, I do. I do. And I don't know, like for fines and stuff like that, how do you handle fines for a person that's like making more money? I think that scaling fines for people that make more money is probably a good idea. Like, for example, if you're speeding and you're a millionaire, I think that you should get a bigger speeding ticket than if you're an average person. Because, again, the goal is about making the behavior not happen. So, and it's not fair, by the way, that happens, but it's also not fair that they're speeding. So again, the goal is not about making it fair for the person who's doing the bad action. The goal is making it fair for the people who are doing the good actions and are victims of bad actions. So that's always like, I always think about it from that perspective. But actually, it's really true. Yeah. And so that's how I think about everything. Is that that's not possible? Yeah, it is. European countries do it already. And so all you need to do, and again, I'm going to explain it to you guys like really, really simple, right? Is that all you need to do is figure out why somebody is doing something, figure out what they're getting out of it, and then figure out how to take that thing away from them and how to create a counter incentive that's worse than what they're getting, and then you will make the behavior stop. This is simple psychology. This is how you train a rat. It's how you train a dog. It's how you train a person. It's how you train a society. This is, it works all the way down. So all you do is you figure that out and you do it right. And so anyway, and we rise, yes, clearly, scaling fines is so unfair. I agree. I think that it is unfair. And that's why I would do it. As a measure and a show of intent and deliberateness. It is unfair. And that's the thing, is that like I'm not the goal is for me. It's not about being fair. It's about and it's also like who's it fair to. So and you think about it, and this is the problem that you have, is that you're thinking about it as like it being fair to the criminal. How is it fair to everybody else on the road that this criminal gets to just pay a fine that's effectively pocket change to them, and they can continue doing what they were doing with no consequence? How is it fair to them? So are we going to think about what's fair to the one person who is actively doing something wrong that they know is wrong? Or are we going to think about what's fair to the hundreds of other people who are trying to do the right thing and are put at risk because of this one person? And what about punch card before jail? Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I think in some cases that's bullshit. The rich are protected. Well, yeah, sure. But like, I mean, that's why you would make the fine higher. Fines are average for lawbreakers, rich people spending less. Crime is only punished because it hurts the state's income. If crime freed up people from resources, government would not punish as hard. Yeah, either way, punishment by definition isn't fair, which is why they work. Yeah, I think so. But either way, I could go back and forth on this a lot. Eventually, you'll be on the other side. What is this here? A lot of people argue with this. Everyone messes up. So, like, what do you mean by this? Everybody messes up. You mean like I'm gonna accidentally spray poison on like on bananas? Like, what do you think is gonna? What do you mean by this? Like, how's it? What does this mean? By that logic, we've all been arrested. Yeah. I don't understand what you mean by this. I'll let this person explain it, and then I was gonna watch one more thing. And yeah, speeding is a safer way to drive. The less time that you're on the road, the less chance that you'll have to get into an accident. I agree. I think they should change. And that's actually a great point. And so, like, here's the thing, right? Is like if you change the speed limit in school zones from 20 miles an hour to 200 miles an hour, you had to drive 200 miles an hour, you'd solve two problems. Number one, you'd get rid of dumb kids that can't pay attention and don't look both ways before they cross the road. They're stupid. That's natural selection, right? So that's number one. Number two, because the car isn't going to be in the school zone for a long period of time, then collectively, you're going to have less cars and less kids getting hit, right? Because the cars are going to go really fast through the school zone. Right? Is that the way that's what makes sense, right? Yes? Okay, good. Perfect. Great. We've got a brilliant mind in chat. I just think there needs to be fairness for criminals. Why? Also, by the way, do you want to know what's really funny? I think that this is very well known at this point. I've had a lot of friends go to prison. Many of them still have phones, and so they communicate with like friends of ours that are out of prison. There are a number of guys that watch me that are in prison that think I'm great. Yeah. So like, yeah, I don't have a problem with this at all. Yeah, I think I'm great. Yeah, I had somebody tell me that yesterday that would know. If you were accused, you would want it to be fair. Well, yeah, of course I would want a fair trial. Why would it? What is this? Like, what do you mean by? Yeah, of course you'd want a fair. Duh. Sure, of course. Yeah, I don't even. This is a waste of time to talk about. This is just a moron. Chatter's advocating for criminals and trying to justify it. No, there's no thinking involved, right? Again, there's no thinking. And, yeah. He probably took the crucifixion part literally. Well, I did say metaphorically right after, right? Or right before. So, yeah, the problem with making it punishment too hard is life is not all about breaking laws. There are plenty of laws that are only there that in reality to help the bottom 20% of 20% of people to not fuck up. Well, I don't know. It depends on what it is, right? What if the laws themselves are corrupt? Well, obviously that's bad. But this isn't the example of that, and that's not what's happened.